Okay. Well, okay. So word number 4, uh, we are gonna make tables. So I'm gonna show you how to make tables today. So if you are on the Word document on the handout, I just want to review here our ribbon. So the home ribbon, when you fire up open your Word document, you can open the Word ribbon and you're going to see home and different tabs. Today, we're going to use the home tab and we're going to do the insert tab. So those are the two main tabs we're going to be using today. And um, then I have placed here a list of some of the shortcuts that you can choose to use if you prefer to use the keyboard. So that's a combination to hold, like for example, to copy a document, you hold the control key, which is located on the left bottom corner of your keyboard. You hold the key and you keep it holded while you press C, and that's how you copy. So you can do a combination of Control A, which is select everything on the text, then Control C, which is copy, and then you can choose another place, another document, and do Control V as Victor to paste. So that's if you want to use the shortcuts. And there are several other shortcuts that I have placed here in case you want to use it and save your fingers from the mouse. You can also try to use the mouse. That's no problem. That's a good alternative. So so one of the things I would like to try today is that you watch the screen and see what I do, and then I'm gonna give you time to do it yourself. So I'm gonna repeat. So I'm gonna do it once and you watch, and then I'm gonna do the same thing, but then if you want, you can try it on your own and while you listen to me. So I'm gonna try to do everything twice. So one, just watch how I do it. And the second part, the second time I'll do it, try to do it on your own. And if you get stuck, you can look what I have. So I'm gonna repeat everything twice. Um, so I'm gonna attempt to do it everything twice. So the first thing is we need a text to add to our document. So go ahead and open a brand new document. So you can just click new document, start brand new. Um, so we have this new document and we need to bring text to this. So if you have access to the handout, you can, with the mouse, you can select where it says name and phone, and there are a bunch of phone numbers. And then you can do right click and do control copy, or you can do control C. And then you go to the document and you can do control V, or you can just go to the ribbon, home ribbon, and paste. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to select the text. I'm going to do right click with my mouse, copy, and then I'm going to do, I'm just going to, this is wrong. I'm going to do paste, home paste, or control V as Victor. Okay, so if you are unable to do that, just type some names and some for random for numbers. We just need some data, some text, so we can create a table and it makes sense. Once you have that, You can go ahead and save your document. You always need to save, 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 save. I just gonna click save this PC, and I just gonna put it on my desktop. And this might look a little bit different than yours. So just try to do what you're able to do with what you have, and just save it the way you know how to save it. So now we have a text and we need to create a table. So to create a table, we're gonna go to the Insert tab. So we go to the Insert tab, and then you're gonna find on the left, you're gonna find something called table, and you see the group table, and there is a grid, and then you click on the caret. And on the caret, you're gonna get several grids. So I'm gonna do it again. So you're here in the Home tab. We're gonna go to the Insert tab, which is the one right beside the Home tab. And then we're gonna go to the left, or where you see, because every ribbon is different. I'm sure your ribbon is slightly different than the ribbon I have, because it depends on what version you have, but you should have a grid somewhere that says table, and you click the down arrow, the caret, and then you're gonna see this grid here. And when you hover over the grid, there is a orange light that shows up, and that's gonna tell you is for you to choose the size of your table. So a table has rows and it has columns. So for this table, we're gonna do a 2x4, 2 columns and 4 rows. So when you have the 2x4, just click on the end of that rectangle. So you're gonna click right here, click where you see my arrow. You're just gonna click there, and you're gonna see already a preview. Sometimes, depending on the version you have, you're gonna see a preview of the table that you're making. So you see that the table gets smaller on my preview on the document, or larger. So for now, we're gonna do 2x4. And then when you have it there, just click on your mouse so you confirm that's created. Okay, so let me do that again. You're gonna go to Insert, Table, then hover on the grid and find a 2x4, 2 columns and 4 rows, and then click to accept the design of that table. Okay, so now you have this table on your document that you created, and this is the standard table. You can change it later. You can put different borders, but right now that's the default table. It's good for now to start. And one of the things I want you to notice, when you click out of the table, like click on the text anywhere by the table, you're gonna see all this. Look at the tabs that you have on your ribbon. And then look how the tabs change when you click inside the table. When you click inside the table, you're gonna have 2 additional tabs showing up. So you click out, they're gone. Click inside the table, they show up. So those are the tabs associated with the table. So if you click out, they're gone. You click inside the table, they're back. So that's where you're gonna format the table and change it. Other thing I want you to notice is when you set this little cross here on a square, that's telling you you are selecting the whole table. So when you click on that, you're selecting the whole table. So when you want to select the whole table, you need to click on the square with the cross. If you want to click, if you want to select only sections of the table, you don't need to click on that square and cross. But if you want to select the whole table, you just click on that. And that's going to select the whole table borders and the content of the table. Okay, so now that we had that table like that, we need to put the text that which is going to be like a phone book. So please go to the first row, column 1, and type name. And then you can either use your mouse to go to the next column or use tab on your keyboard. Find the tab key, T-A-B, which is on the left middle of the keyboard. So it's gonna be tab is gonna be right here on this side. So that's gonna, the tab is gonna help you move from cell to cell in the table. So you can click and it's gonna go to the next cell. And then I'm gonna put here phone number. Okay, so now we have the headers of the table, but we need to put the information here, this content. So I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna select the information I want. So the first name is Jean. So I'm gonna select Jean Smith. So I'm gonna select Jean Smith with my mouse. And then you have the choice of doing copy or Control C. And then go to row 2, column 1 and do Control V as Victor or right click or use paste. So I'm gonna do this one again. So I'm gonna select Jean Smith. I can use the ribbon and say copy. And then I can go to the ribbon and do paste. And then the next one, you do the same thing with the phone number. You select the phone number. You do copy or Control C. Go to the second row, second column, and do paste or Control V as Victor. And then you do Henry Brown. Select Henry Brown, Control C, go to the next cell, Control V, put the phone number, and so on. So any part of this that was not clear that anybody wants me to repeat?
Okay, thank you.
Oh. Anything I need to repeat? Okay, so just go ahead and try the last one, Harry Crown. Control C, Control V as Victor, and then the phone number we select it, and then we do Control C as cat and Control V as Victor. And then if this happen, this is happen, like you see the extra space that I get here, this is happening because I added a space by mistake. So you can just go on your keyboard and use the back space key and it'll go back to the way it was. So if you want to add extra space, you can click enter and it's going to add extra spaces in case you want it. And if you want to eliminate it, you can just do backspace. Okay. So now you have a table with 2 columns and 4 rows. You can go ahead and save it. And now, let's see, what do we need to do? So now that we have created a table, we can also, we fill out the table. We can also convert, if you want, you can convert this table back to text. So you can select the table. Remember I told you how to select the table. We're gonna select the table by going to the cross with inside the square. You click that and you select the table. So the whole table is selected all at once. Then we're gonna go to insert, the insert tab, and then go to the table menu. And when you go to you click on the drop down, you are going to see a choice that says convert text to table. Oh, no, this is the other one. It doesn't have the choice. We're gonna do convert, no, you can do, I got confused, sorry. We're gonna do the other way. We're gonna turn this table into text. So first we're gonna put it, okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna show you, you can, so, okay, let's start again. So you can convert a text to table, and we're gonna take this text that you already did before. So if you don't have it, we can go and get it. So bring that text again that we copy from the handout. And we're gonna take that text, and instead of filling it in, we're going to make a table faster. So I'm gonna bring that, paste that text like that. And then I'm gonna take this text and I'm gonna make it into a table. So the key here is that the computer knows there is a space between each, almost each word. So we can try that. Or we can try maybe, let's try comma. So I'm gonna put a comma here so the computer knows where it's gonna put a column. So I'm gonna put a comma here, and you can just watch it and then you can do it because it's a little bit, I'm gonna to do an extra work here. So you can just watch it and then you can try to do it on your own. So I'm gonna put a comma here because the computer needs to know where it's gonna put the border, the division. Otherwise, the computer doesn't know where it's gonna put the division. So I'm gonna tell them division is at the comma. So I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna go here to the insert tab, table, and now I'm gonna use convert text to table. And then it's asking me, what many numbers of columns. So I'm gonna choose here commas. At the last step, it says separate text at comma. So I'm gonna tell them that comma is where I want you to put a separation, a border. So here, the number of column, I'm gonna try to do if the computer can do 2 columns. So I'm gonna, instead of 7, I'm gonna do 2. And you can see right away, as soon as I adjust the number to 2 here on the number of columns, the computer notices it, recalculate, and instead of putting 7, it recalculates it. Oh, if you're gonna put two columns, you're gonna need 4 rows. And also because I'm gonna, I put that extra comma there, and the comma is gonna go away. So I'm gonna click OK. So you just did, I'm just gonna do the width auto because I can fix it later. So the columns is 2 and the separation is gonna start the comma. So that's another way to do it. And you notice that here in Gene Smith, I forgot to put the comma and that's why it didn't do it. So let me try it again. So here in Gene Smith, there is no comma between Smith and the number, and that's why the computer didn't recognize it as two separate items. So I'm gonna try it again, and this time I'm gonna put a comma here between Smith and the phone number. So I'm gonna select it again, insert, table, convert text to table, comma, and then I'm gonna put here 2, and then it's gonna tell me 4 again, like before. So let's see if it works better. So there it is. So we had the same table that we just did by hand, but now we have it by the computer recognizes that anywhere there is a comma, it's gonna put a border. So that's another way to do it. So I'm gonna show you again so you can try it on your own. So just remember to put a comma between name and phone, and a comma between phone and Gene, and then a comma between Smith and the phone number, and then a comma between the phone number and the next name, and then Brown and the phone number, and then the phone number between Harry and Crown between the phone number. And then select, go to insert, table, and then convert text to table. And then I'm gonna put here two columns, and I'm gonna select here separate text, add commas, and I click, oh, and I need to put 4 here again. I mean 2 here again, and commas, and then there it is. So that's another way to create it if you want to turn text into table. It help you speed up the process a little bit. And you don't have to use commas. You can use tabs. See, the other their other options are paragraph. So you can select 3 paragraph and tell them to put each paragraph in a cell. Commas, tabs, which is the keyboard, is like the space. You can recognize a space, and then you can put others. You can put columns or semicolons here. Okay, so that's for this. So let's do the other way around. Let's do a table. You type there. So if you miss uh, if you miss a comma, because you know sometimes they're hard to see, it's gonna put it as, it's not gonna separate it. Even though you'll try, it's not gonna separate it because um, I didn't put a comma between name and phone.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't matter what I try to do. If I don't put a comma between name and phone, the computer doesn't know what to do. And it's gonna assume that you want name and phone in the same cell. So I just want to show you 2 different ways to do it. This is a more advanced way that convert the text to table. I suggest you get get used to working with table before you go this approach. Of course, the best approach is just copy paste into the table, and you can also, like, sometimes they let you drag it. You can drag it into the table. See, if I select it and I get the arrow, I can drag it into the table. So that's another way to do it while you get used to working with tables. Um, And the other thing I want to show you, well, if anything goes bad and you need to start again, we can convert a table into a text. So let me fix that later. So we're gonna select this table by clicking on the square with the cross, and then we're gonna do copy, home copy, and then pick up a place outside of the table, and then we're gonna do a special text. So we're gonna paste only the text. So we're gonna bring only the text, not the table. So you're gonna go to the home paste. And when you see the paste icon, click on the caret underneath, and you're gonna have three choices. You can hover over those choices and you're gonna see the options you have. So if you go to the third choice, which is keep text only, you are bringing only the data of the table and you trash the table. You forget about the table. So you can click here, keep text only, and there it is. There is your text, and then you can forget about the table and restart again if you need to. So I'm gonna redo this so you all can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna select the table by clicking on this square with the arrow on the top left corner. It selects all the table. I'm gonna do a copy or Control C. Then I'm gonna go outside of the table and I'm gonna go home, paste, click the caret, and you're gonna go to the third choice, which is keep text only, and choose that one, which is the clipboard with the letter A, and click that one. And that's, you brought the text and you can now get rid of your table. To delete the table, if you don't want the table anymore, click again, select the whole table on the left top square, and then we're gonna go here. I think you can delete it like that. Yeah, just do backspace on your keyboard and it's gone. So again, if you want to delete the table, select the table on the top left corner on the square, click there. Then you can also, if you see here, there is an option here that says delete. You can also on your keyboard just click the space keyboard key, and it's gonna go away, and then it's gone away. And if you make any mistakes you want to redo, you can just do Control Z as zebra, and you bring up the table. So Control Z is a way to redo what you just did, to cancel the last action. So you can do that. Okay, so any questions so far? We're gonna go now to make the table a little bit prettier. So any questions about that so far? Okay, so you're gonna select the table, like I said, on the top left. Then you're gonna see at the top, you're gonna see those new tabs. It's called Design and Layout. Remember, they only appears when you go inside the table. So you are inside the table, they show up. So we select the table because we're gonna change the formatting. We're gonna go here to Design. And when you are on the Design ribbon, you're gonna see different grids. You can click on the More. This is the More. So just watch and then you can choose whatever design you like. So on the More option here, which is on this table style box, on the bottom right, there is an arrow, and that's the More arrow. You click there and it's the whole box is gonna expand and you're gonna see more choices. So this is an easy way to format a table and be done with it, and don't have to change each border by itself because that takes too long. So you can start with a template, and then you can tweak the template instead of starting tweaking and then spending 2 hours tweaking, which is no fun at all. Um, so you can choose. So I'm gonna move my screen a little bit so you can see the choices. You can see a little bit of the preview. So you can also see previews, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna click here. Oh, this is me move this more. I'm gonna move this. You don't have to do that. I just gonna move it so you all can see how the table changes. So I'm gonna go here, design, the more, still no getting the view I want. Let's see. Oh well. So if you hover over, the table is changing. Let me see if I make it bigger. Okay, there. So you can see it changing a little bit. So when you hover over, it's gonna change. So you can see a preview of what your table would like to look before you make a decision. So black and white is for people who would like to use it to print. So the grayscale is always for things that are going to get printed because color ink is very expensive. So if you're going to print a lot of this, or even if you're not going to print a lot of this, um, you want to keep it grayscale. Color is for things that maybe you don't need to print. So you can choose. I like I like this one because it has headers, so you can see the header. So I'm gonna choose this one. When you find the one you want, just click on it, and then you can see that the whole table it changed, the font changed. So now we have a header that have a different color with the color of the fonts is different, and you can, and this is gonna be the style of the header. So let me try the other one. So you have another chance to practice. So I'm gonna select this other table I have. I'm gonna go to design. I'm gonna click here where it says table style. I'm gonna click on the down arrow and I can choose something else. You can choose. So these are all with the header. The first row, the header is distinctive, and these are for grids. So you have something that you may have to read on um, on two sides, and these are just simple grids. So they're different styles. So I'm gonna choose something else so you can see what it looks like. So that's a different one. And if you want to change it, you just click on select the table again, and you can choose something else, and you can change that. Um, and this is gonna be the style for the rest of the table. So if you add rows, if you add columns, it's gonna keep that style. Okay, so any questions so far for this?
So how do you add rows or how do you add columns?
Yeah, so we're gonna do that too. Thank you. Before we do that, if you wanna tweak it, if you wanna tweak your table, uh, there are some options that you get here on the design. You can tweak it here with a shading. You can change the colors of, so the shading is the color of the cells. So you can choose some other color underneath. And then on the border styles, you can choose some other color on the borders. You can choose the how thick the borders are. So you can choose, um, oh, you have to select the table too. So let me get out of this. So select the table because I didn't do it. And you can also choose it here. There are options here, but I'm gonna do it here since it's easier. And it didn't do it. I don't like, oh, they telling you to do it that way. I don't like to do it that way. So I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it. So I'm gonna choose this table, and right here on borders, you can also choose if you if you want borders or you don't want borders. Uh, so there are different ways to put the borders. Um, for the border styles, I can do, I can select this and it's gonna be um, different options here. So you can change it there too. And there are ways to change this. There it is. So one second. So if you want to do change the border style, that's the only way they tell you to do it is to the design, and then you have to go and do it this by hand. Oh, I don't want the border painter. I want everything to be thick, and it's not letting me do it. Okay. So to make, so now that you have this, is that's why it's better just to use the defaults to make that better. Okay, so that's the other way to do this is you can select the table like I just did. So um, right click and select. So select the table here and then right click on the table. And then you're gonna see a choice for table properties. When you do table properties, this is where you wanna go to change the, the cells and the rows. So if you want a specific height, there's a column and cells and also the borders. So there are different ways to change this. The other way to is you want to add an, a row, you go to the layout or you go to right click and it's going to be an insert. So rows, you can either insert above or below. So you can insert rows above. So you can do here, or you can do it on the ribbon here, insert above, or you can also insert below. You can go to this one, to the last row, and you don't even have to select it. You just say insert below, and you can insert another one. And since we have this style, it's gonna keep this style when you add new rows. When you wanna select a column, you're gonna choose either to the right or the left where you have your placeholder. So if you are here, you either go to the right or to the left where you are. So I can go here and go to the left. You can also do a right click and it's gonna do insert and you're gonna have different options. So either columns or rows, and you can do that way. And if you wanna delete a row, just select the row and then right click and it's gonna be delete cells. So when you delete cells, the best way is to delete the entire row unless you have a lot of practice doing this. If you start deleting cells in a table, the table may cave in. And not cave in like a house, but it might get your rows and your columns yourself will gonna move, because remember the computer always wanna keep this balance, the same number of columns, the same the rows on one side than the other side. So if you start deleting cells, things are gonna get kind of crazy. So unless you know exactly what you're doing, just keep deleting rows. So you can delete one row and you can delete a column. You don't even have to select it. You just go and delete, and make sure you select delete column, and it goes away. Okay, so that is for tables. I have placed more information on the um, handout. And one thing very important, one of the thing is, if I choose here, if I'm gonna take out all the formatting. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna take all the formatting, and then I'm gonna put no borders. So there is a table there, and you know, because when you hover over it, you're gonna get that square with the box, that cross with the box. You know there is a table there, but you can't see it because I make all the borders go away. What happens is you want to see the grids. So you're gonna click inside the table, you're gonna go to layout, and you're gonna go to the left of the ribbon and select view grid lines. So this is extremely important because sometimes people are looking, they know there is a table, but they cannot see the table. And especially if you're getting a document from somebody else, you might notice there is some table that here I cannot see. I need to find it so I can delete it, or I can add it, or I can change it. So you're going to, so these are the grid line. The grid lines are not going to print. This is the way it's gonna print. They're gonna print without any, um, they're not gonna print with it. You see here, this is the print preview, and there is no grid lines. So the grid lines don't print. The borders print, the grid lines don't print. But the grid lines help you see what's going on. They help you see what the table is, how the table is made. And um, you can also use the home ribbon to put borders. So you can put borders here. You can put the different colors, and you can go here to borders and shadings and work on borders more. So this is the part, this is where I like to choose to work with borders rather than, this is where I was trying to find. So you're gonna go, if I'm here, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go here on home, and it's gonna go here on the grid, and you're gonna go here where it says border and shading. That's where it's easier to work with the borders, or because you can see it here, you can plan it, and you can uh, apply it to the whole thing or only to some part of it, and you can have more detail. But again, it's much easier to choose a style, a design, and just tweak it. It's much easier. And um, so that's all we have time to do. I have placed more information here if you want to try to follow all this, any other information. I have videos at the bottom that can help you, guide you to learn more, but I think tables are extremely important and useful especially on resumes. You can have a resume that is well centered, structure, and then put the guidelines. Don't put any borders, and just use the guidelines. And it's gonna print, and it's gonna look all very centered and structured. Everything is gonna be where it's supposed to be. Things are not gonna move, and it doesn't look like a table because you're not gonna put borders. So that's what tables are great for.